Alrighty, so exploded views in SolidWorks. Again, the files for today are on Box under Project 4, 1125 exploded views and drawings. You want to download all these to work on them. It'll save you time. The first file you're going to open up is a part file called mfdemo speaker 2. This is, you could also just use your speaker that you created, actually. So this is the speaker we've been working with as demos in Project 4 so far. The first exploded view I'm going to show you is how to do an exploded view in a part. There's really nothing special to it. You basically use the move body commands. Nothing exciting, unfortunately. What is exciting, in a nerd SolidWorks kind of way, is configurations. Configurations is all new to, is presumably new to all of you, if not most of you. A configuration basically is a memory of tree commands that are suppressed or unsuppressed. It's kind of like saving a snapshot of your file. So it's located up here in the configurations tab. You always have a default, which is what you work under. So here I have like all of these commands. If I go back to my configurations and right click here and say add configuration, so right click add, you can name this whatever you want, but probably exploded view or explode is good. And you'll notice now I have a new configuration here. What this means is if I add a new command to my tree, so let's say I go ahead and load the move body commands. I click on the front face here and simply just drag it away from the part. Make sure copy is not checked because I just want to move it, I don't want to copy it. I now have this face moving away from it. If I go back to my configurations here and go back and load my default, because this move body command was created in this new configuration, when I load this one, it'll be suppressed. It has no memory of it existing. It's still here, it's not deleted, it's just automatically suppressed. So if I go back here and load double click on this to load the exploded view, I can add another command and drag this back, again making sure copy is not checked. And now I have a very simple exploded view. Again, it's two commands added on my tree down here. Move body 1, move body 2. Because I added it in this new configuration, it's not in the original. Now that said, I could, for example, come here and like unsuppress one of these, and it will remember that that's unsuppressed. So again, the simplest way to state a configuration is it remembers suppressions and unsuppressions. It's a snapshot of your tree. This can be useful sometimes when you have like, configurations are also available in assemblies, which we'll see in a minute. So this could be useful if you have, think back to Project 2 with the toaster. You could have 3 different configurations for 3 concepts in an assembly. Concept 1, the components for concepts 2 and 3 are suppressed. In configuration 2, components for 1 and 3 are suppressed, and so on and so forth. So that is the new thing today is configurations. That is the first part of the demo. The only thing I'll add to this is in your exploded view, in my opinion, it's totally okay to just drag it to where you think it looks good. It is very possible you could like type in a value here if you wanted the movement to be the same. So 3 inches forwards, negative 3 inches back, and now the spacing in theory is even from the point where they met. You could, if you were bringing this into KeyShot, check the copy box so that you keep the body close to it. And that way, when you bring it into KeyShot, you have both bodies needed. You can hide one as needed. Okay, so that's exploded views in a part. The other file I provided for you all is this assembly file, p4xdemo speaker 2. So when you're done with the exploded view in the part, you can go ahead and open this one up. Exploded views in an assembly are a little more fancy in SolidWorks. They have an actual explode command right here. And kind of simulates it for you. So You could either click on it here, or you can go to Insert, Exploded View, and it will bring up this dialog, okay? The first thing it's asking you for is what part do you want to explode? So you can go ahead and click on the front face and drag it to where you think you want it. And then you go ahead down here and click Done. It's kind of confusing. You don't want to click the checkbox. This is one of these UI UX things that I disagree with SolidWorks. So you hit Done. And now it prompts you again for another component to move. You can go ahead and click the back and drag it away. And same thing, you can go ahead and clear and click Done. There is auto space components. You can mess with some of these things. Sometimes you have a subassembly for an explosion. This is just the bare basics. Once you have both of these chains set up and you move these away from each other, this is when you click the checkbox. And now you've created your exploded view. Just like we saw in the part file, if you go to configurations, this is a little confusing because at first glance it's not here. There's this little arrow. There's something called derived configurations. So it is a configuration that exists within another. I'm sure there are good reasons for derived configurations. I've never had to go like into that level of inception, right? SolidWorks inception of like a dream within a dream. Like I don't bother with that. What's that? Okay. Oh, yes, I'm referring to it. So the other exploded view here. If you right-click on this and click Collapse, it puts it together. If you right-click on it and click Explode, it moves it apart. You can animate the collapse, but this really doesn't do us any good. Back to Max M&M's point, I would be curious to look at exploded views in KeyShot for animation purposes. I guess you just click this to make that stop. I wonder if you can animate explode. I guess it's the same thing. You can. I believe you can. I've only ever used SolidWorks animation once, so I'm rusty on it. I would need to like do some Googling. But yes, you can output an MP4 from SolidWorks, I believe. So SolidWorks I have a basic version of SolidWorks, standard version, because I've never needed to use this, but SolidWorks does have something called RealView, and you may all have it in your educational versions, where it can apply realistic materials in SolidWorks. It's not as good as KeyShot in terms of rendering, but it's in there. I think the only thing I'll add is like if you go here and I think if you explode this, you can look at the steps one at a time, and you can like say edit explode step. Here it tells you the distance. If you have like multiple, the nice thing with this is like you can auto space the components. So if you have like a stack of exploded pieces, I believe if you check auto space, it'll space them all beautifully. So you don't have to like worry about typing in a number or anything like that.